Imagine working hard your entire life, doing everything right, and successfully saving up $10 million for a comfortable retirement. You think you are completely safe. But then, an economic phenomenon takes over your country, and within a short period, those $10 million cannot even buy you a single matchstick. All the wealth you accumulated over a lifetime literally turns into nothing. This isn't a terrifying movie plot. This is exactly what happened in Zimbabwe when the country went through a severe period of hyperinflation. When a government continuously prints more and more money, the value of your currency drops down to absolute zero. To make matters worse, the government will often blame businesses and put price caps on goods, which forces companies to shut down because they end up losing money just to sell you products. Once the companies shut down, society breaks down because you no longer have access to food, clothing, or essential goods. I'm not saying we are in a hyperinflation crisis right now, but we are clearly seeing the rumblings of inflation in our economy. If your currency collapses, relying on your savings account is a death sentence. Today, I am going to give you 8 essential principles you must implement to survive a hyperinflationary crisis and protect your family. During a period of hyperinflation, the most dangerous thing you can possibly do is hold on to your cash. When you get paid at work, you must take that money and spend it as fast as you possibly can, literally that exact same day. Why? Because in a hyperinflationary economy, the money you earn today could lose half of its entire value by tomorrow morning. You must take your cash and immediately buy a tangible object, food, or an essential supply. Once paper money becomes completely useless, society reverts to the oldest economic system in the world, bartering. Having physical items that you can trade with your neighbors in your community becomes the absolute most important way to acquire the things you need to survive. True wealth is no longer what is in your bank account, it is the tangible goods you can hold in your hands. When times get difficult and inflation rises, governments and politicians often try to separate people into different factions and tribal groups, but falling into the trap of division will destroy you. During the crisis in Zimbabwe, instead of tearing each other apart, the people drew together better than at almost any other time in modern history. Community becomes an absolute necessity for survival. If your neighbor has food and you don't, a strong relationship means they are likely to share with you. Families must come together, help out their parents, and sometimes even move into the same house to consolidate their funds and resources just to make it by. You cannot survive hyperinflation as a lone wolf. When a country goes bankrupt, its infrastructure begins to crumble incredibly fast. The government can no longer fund water purification, meaning municipal water stops flowing to homes or becomes entirely unpredictable. In Zimbabwe, people had to buy massive drums and storage containers just to catch water when the system temporarily turned on, so they would have something to drink when the grid failed again. To protect yourself, having an independent water source like a private well puts you in a vastly better position than those relying on the city. If you have your own water, you don't just secure your household, you become an anchor who can help take care of the entire community around you. When your nation's dollar is hyperinflating and losing its purchasing power by the hour, you must move your wealth into something stable. Having foreign currencies or alternative assets that are not hyperinflating is a brilliant way to stabilize your funds. Now, this comes with a massive warning. Historically, some desperate governments will actually outlaw the use of external funds and foreign dollars because they know that if citizens abandon the national currency, it will just hyperinflate even faster. People are left with a terrifying choice: follow the dictates of a government that is destroying their wealth, or secretly use alternative currencies to survive. Diversifying into assets outside of your government's control is essential for financial flexibility. When the grocery store shelves go empty because companies cannot afford to ship products, you must be able to feed yourself. Growing your own food is non-negotiable. While living out in the country makes this significantly safer, you can still do this in the city. You can approach neighbors who aren't using their backyards and offer to work their land and grow food in exchange for keeping a portion of the harvest. During hyperinflation, food ceases to be just calories. It literally transforms into a powerful form of currency. Having a steady supply of food allows you to feed your family, trade with others for necessities, and become a pillar of support in your neighborhood. This goes right along with growing your own food, but it is a secret weapon most people completely ignore. You need to save and stockpile plenty of seeds. You must have ample seeds not just for your own garden, but to help out the community around you who might not have the money to acquire them. Because of their incredible value, seeds can actually be used directly as currency to barter for other goods. While some seeds can be eaten as food, you must protect your supply so you can plant again the next season. Seeds are a phenomenal, lightweight, and highly valuable asset to secure your family's future. If the power grid fails and the water stops pumping, you can guarantee that heating your home during the winter will become a massive problem. You need a source of fuel to keep your family warm that does not rely on the municipal grid. Having wood heat is incredibly reliable. This is why living in a rural area or owning farmland with a few acres of trees is a massive tactical benefit. Not only does the wood keep your family from freezing, but if you have enough acreage, you can actually sell or trade the timber to generate income for future necessities. This final move is the most important one. It has been documented that during hyperinflationary periods, morality usually wanes terribly. People become so desperate to meet their basic needs that they will steal, become violent, and do whatever it takes to survive. But in Zimbabwe, something completely fascinating happened. Despite the extreme desperation, the people generally did not become highly violent, and they rarely broke into homes to hurt others. When researchers looked into why the society didn't completely lose its morality, they found that it was deeply tied to their strong Christian faith. Instead of tearing each other apart, their faith caused them to draw closer together and help one another. If you constantly focus only on money, you will never find peace, especially when the economy collapses. You must anchor your mind and your morality in something deeper. I'm not saying this level of hyperinflation is coming to your city tomorrow, but studying history ensures you do not fall into the exact same catastrophic traps of the past. When the system breaks, true wealth is your community, your tangible resources, your adaptability, and your character. Do not wait for the headlines to tell you it's too late. Start building your community, start learning how to grow your own resources, and step out of the fragile consumer mindset today. I will see you in the next one.